You also mentioned about planning and organization and how there has been an increase and improvement in this survey by 57%. And could you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Yeah, let's take planning as a first step here. Daily planning. If you asked me what percentage of people that attended the courses this year, say the 500 people that might have done training this year, how many had a consistent way of daily planning that they followed daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? And the answer is quite low. And it's very, very interesting. Many people arrive at work and the first thing they do is they turn on their computer and they first open up their Outlook and they straight away into their inbox and they start their day working the inbox. And unless I've got an appointment immediately or I'm meant to be somewhere else or doing something, I can be spending the first hour of my day just processing the emails that have come in. And just you start thinking about that, you go, oh, so I'm from a planning point of view, I'm allowing my day to start and almost be set by the emails that arrived overnight or the emails that were still there from yesterday because I didn't process them and clear them. But we know that good planning and the formula we use, am I working on the right tasks with the right processes and the right tools to get the right result? So good planning says, well, I can link it back to organizational objectives, the values, vision stuff and all that nice area, which is important. But out of that, our organization, our team this year is setting out to achieve these things. And my role to play within that, I understand that. So I set goals. Now, often organizations have KRAs and KPIs and those kinds of things, which should be related directly to organizational objectives and so on. So I set some goals and I set some personal goals as well if I'm smart. And so this year we want to travel to India and visit there for a month. And then we want to go to Thailand and we also want to have a family reunion. These are all setting goals. And then of course, once goals are set, plans have got to be put into action to be able to execute the activity required to get those delivered. So going to India for a month doesn't happen just like that. We've got money, we've got to buy tickets, we've got to coordinate dates, we've got to get leave, on it goes. So identifying all the various tasks, work breakdown, and then managing those on a daily basis. Many people rely on lists and paper lists, and they're quite vertical. And they're very, very basic in the sense that very often dates are missing and all things, just a list of all these things I've got to do on a daily basis. I'm going up and down that list, identifying what it is I've got to do. Teams, however, are starting to, I see a lot more teams getting a bit more organized and saying, right, this quarter, let's set up our objectives and make sure that we preview on a weekly basis, progress against each person's tools. But there's still a requirement on each person to take ownership of their tasks and manage them and do them and report back of them as being done. So we introduced the daily planning process where Outlook's a very powerful tool that you can use. It's not the only tool, but it's a very powerful tool you can use that coordinates my calendar activity, my task lists, and my email in a way that I can manage my activity by tasks, and I can organize my tasks by priority, by date, and I can categorize my tasks so I can have all the stuff to do with my India trips is the yellow category or whatever it is. But what I'm trying to do here is, I look in my yellow category and I go, gosh, there's no task in there and we're going to India next week. Something's not right here. We haven't booked the ticket, So managing tasks. So for many people, I find a high percentage, 80+% of people that attend the Working Smart course, and we still fill those courses all the time, continually, don't know how to use the tasks tool in Outlook. But I'm finding from the Microsoft Teams point of view, there are a number of teams I'm coming across are getting much better at using tools like Trello and task by planner to do as group-based tasks. But one of the things I still find interesting, even though they're using those well and they start tracking them, people on a daily basis still not planning well. So people who plan tomorrow today sleep better every night is a very much in the back of this. So if I spend 10 minutes before I go home at night, have I knocked off all my appointments today on my calendar? Have I rescheduled if I haven't? How's my task list looking? Have I knocked off those high priority tasks that I identified today that needed to be done? Is my task list looking all right for tomorrow? Does it include key objective stuff as well as the business as usual activity? How's my calendar looking tomorrow? Oh, and have I cleared my inbox? And for many people, that brings closure to a day. No surprises for tomorrow until I come into work tomorrow. So when my Outlook opens up in my calendar view and my task list, oh, that's what I saw at the end of the day last night. Okay, nothing's changed. Great. Go to the inbox, check some things there. And my day is now driven by that plan that I put together, which is linked to the important stuff as well as the urgent stuff that's happening around us. So setting up a daily planning process for many people, this is a big step. Well, you would think that people are really good at planning, but I would say that average would not be an understatement in terms of how I would rate daily planning across the people.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And that results in 57% increase because they're controlling their day. And
well, they're getting their focus right, and then they've got and once they get the discipline into place and get consistent about working the task list, time managing with their calendar and managing their emails, their chats and their posts, and people go, oh, wow. What they realize is that I often say to people, show me your task list. If you weren't going to be here at this workshop today, because that's usually where I meet them, but write down all the things that you've got to do tomorrow. And the first thing that you tend to notice when people do that, a lot of it's very urgent. It's stuff that's top of mind, got to be done straight away. Okay, show me on your task list where the goal objective stuff is. Where's the stuff related to your oh, actually it's missing. Oh, okay. Shouldn't we be getting some of that in there? Well, yeah, I've got this project that I've got to do to renew the way we do expense claims. Oh, okay, so that's an actual project. So where's the planning for your project? Oh, well, I'm trying to set up an Excel spreadsheet around that. Oh, maybe we could be using OneNote because that talks a bit closer with Outlook or your team-based tool or whatever it is. But you need to scope that out at some point, break it down, and then you've got a date activate. And this is the big one for most people. A lot of people, they identify the tasks, but they have no dating around them. So that dependency, if I don't get that done before that won't happen, good old project planning basics, to be honest. But in today's workplace, I think that's table stakes. Now, you're not in the game unless you can do that well. And so there's again, a lot of room for improvement. And many people recognize that when they're doing the training, they recognize, oh, I need to do something that's not hard to do each day. Plan tomorrow today, 10 minutes before you go home. Bring closure. My mind's now the subconscious doesn't go berserk unless I really want to think about work. I don't. But if I don't bring closure to a day, I'll go home and at some point my mind will wander, or the subconscious will suddenly jump in and bring in, oh, I forgot to do that, forgot to do this. So there's that side of it. And but using a more of a consistent process. Oh, I'm setting out to try and do 12 hours of work every day, but I really, in reality, the way my day works, I only have 2 hours because I've got these other things. I've got to go to those meetings. I've got to do this and do that. And yet I look at my task list. No wonder I'm getting stressed because I've got 50 tasks there due now.
Right.
And so a good way of coping with that is like, oh, can I turn it off and ignore it? So helping them embrace it and turn around and say, you've got to make really good decisions on a daily basis about what you're not going to do as much as what you are going to do. And if you really are under the cosh and you're very, very busy, you've got to become razor sharp at knowing what's important and what's not. So to let go of stuff, get your delegation working a lot more effectively, which is another topic we're going to talk about.
Right. Thank you, Chris.